everybody. Welcome to the stream. Today we have Sammy with us. I hope you're all
Hey
excited.
guys.
I can see chat is super excited already. Thank you for joining so early. And as usual, I know if my audio is not fantastic, I will adjust it. Let me know. Should be hopefully okay. So, to get started, let's do some introductions. Tell us about yourself. What's your handle? What channels can people find you on? What's your kind of style as a content creator or as a streamer in terms of variety, etc. Tell us about you.
Yeah, sure. So my handles are Sammyfosgaming on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and of course here on Twitch. And then I'm also looking at starting YouTube, but that will be under Sammy Foss because I'm planning on doing gaming and kind of tech content, but also kind of a bit more around like broader lifestyle and things that I'm interested in as well. In terms of, I guess, my background, I've been playing video games since I was a kid, 4 years old. Pokemon Blue was the first game I ever played, and it's just something that I guess I've played ever since. I've just never stopped playing games. The older I got, I just kind of played more, and I had more money to invest in the games that I wanted to play. And then I guess my channel itself, it's probably more of a variety channel. So we play through a lot of different games. It can range from Spider-Man Miles Morales, The Last of Us Part 2, which we're playing at the moment. We've played things like Immortals Phoenix Rising, Pokemon Shield, where we've done a bit of Among Us, which has been hilarious, but also very tragic for me because I'm not very good at it and I always die in the first round. Guys, you need to give me a bit of a break. So it's a really good mixture of different games. And I think, the key thing about my channel is it's not so much about professional gameplay. As my audience would know, I'm not great at stealth and I'm not great at shooters. It's definitely a weakness of mine, but it's very much there for kind of the community and kind of hanging out with other people who are like-minded and have similar interests.
That's awesome. So, I know you've already listed off quite a few games already, but in terms of, actually, before I even get into that, how long have you been doing this for now?
So I've been streaming for, I think it's just a bit over 6 months. I started in October, the start of October, when I actually just finished my previous job, so my full-time job, and I had a week off in between jobs, and I thought, this is my chance. I will start streaming at this point. So I actually just finished probation at my current job, so that's literally 6 months, almost to the week. So it's flowing by.
That's great. So it's been a few months, but I don't know if you've had enough time to kind of think about this, but when you do kind of choose what games you're going to be playing for stream, what's your process look like? What kind of research do you do around that?
Yeah, so I think my stream, it might be a bit different to other people. So I know some people play specific games because they've got certain high viewerships, or they're quite niche games, which means that they're more likely to be seen for the games. Mine's very much based around, I guess, the games that I want to play and the genres I like. So sometimes I'll do something that's a bit more fun if people are interested. So I did a Warzone stream, and that was the first time I've actually properly played COD. I didn't get any kills. I almost got one. I didn't realize people were knocked down and then you had to shoot them again. So it wasn't too successful, but it was fun. But then I'll also play topical games. So when Cyberpunk came out, we played that for a bit. Monster Hunter Rise, I'm a big Monster Hunter fan, so really interested in that. And even when that dies down, it's probably going to be a game I keep playing just because the personal interest. And I think for me, I wouldn't want to play a game continuously that I don't enjoy. I have the worst poker face ever. And I think I like seeing people enjoy playing games. And so when I'm playing a game, I want to actually have fun. And I want other people to see that I am enjoying it, because that's kind of the atmosphere and environment that I like to bring to my stream. I don't want it to be kind of obvious that I'm playing something that I don't like, because as a viewer as well, I don't enjoy that. And that's when I switch off stream. So that's really important to me, that it's kind of high energy and full of games that, I love to play, but people also enjoy watching.
It's really great to know, especially viewing it from the perspective as someone who's also watching, because I think it's fair to say that, like, even if you are creating content yourself, obviously you're going to, look around, see what other people are doing, research that way too. And I think for people who are starting out, I think that's probably where they're going to be starting out. They'll see others who are doing doing their own content creation, and they're like, okay, I'm inspired by that, let's go. So it's good to still go back to that perspective, even if you're already in the middle of your kind of creation journey. I know we mentioned before you've been streaming for a few months, and I know
Mm-hmm.
you're not full time content creation at the moment, but I think even then you probably have a lot of insights in terms of how do you manage like a full time job and then also doing content creation on the side as well.
Yeah, I think my audience and the guys in chat who kind of follow me on Instagram, which is kind of a platform I'm quite present on, and follow me on Twitch will know that it is a bit of a struggle. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to balance. You know, you've got your full time work, which really the energy required for that is kind of extends beyond standard 9 to 5 30 hours, and then you've got trying to balance your health, your fitness, your family, your social life, just having time for yourself, getting enough sleep, which is something that I guess I struggle with. I'm sure many of the guys in chat do as well. um, yeah, it is a challenge. I think it's really important to kind of set time aside. So for example, on weekends I'll set time aside to create specific content for Instagram, and then I'll try and edit it and push it out across the week, especially when there's branded content. Obviously, you've got contracts you need to abide to, and just fitting that in. To be honest, sometimes I come home during my lunch break. Luckily, I live relatively close to my office, and I will capture content at lunchtime because it's the only time I can do it, while also maintaining, social life and every other aspect of life. But I think, yeah, something that I know that is a challenge for me with a full-time job is keeping a schedule, a regular schedule, which I know is super important for kind of streaming and streaming growth. So that's probably a challenge that I'm still going through at the moment. It's there are times when work's really really full on, and as much as I want to stream, you get home, you've had clients on calls all day, and it just wears you down, and you just don't have that energy. And I don't want to be that person who jumps on stream and as I mentioned, people can see that I'm not having a good time. That's not the energy I want to put out to my stream and my channel. And I want it to be a place where people can come and relax and have a good time and not kind of feel, maybe my stresses of my day. So there have been times, you do have to cancel streams, but it's a constant balancing act and just prioritizing what's important. And I think a big thing for me, and something that I think I need to keep in mind, and I'm sure a lot of other people can relate to this, is if you want it to grow, you almost need to treat it like a second job. So not just as a hobby, but as an actual job that you make a time to stream, you need to stick to it. You've got these content you need to post out to build your audience and build the engagement. Like, you need to stick to that as well. And I think another challenge that comes with that is having people understand that it's not just a hobby, and you actually want it to grow, and to do so you need to actually spend time on it.
Mm. I think that's a common theme that we're getting just from even like our own AMAs, where it's not just like a financial investment from gear and setup, it's also the time investment. So from the viewing it as a job perspective, you before you even jump in and get into content creation, I think in terms of reality, people need to realize, okay, there is, I will need to, this is a commitment. There's investments involved, different kinds of investments, and that's something that people need to consider. Again, especially if people are trying to transition into full-time creation, because I think before we started this interview, I think I was mentioning like there's still people who might not be able to jump in full-time to get started. They'll need to start part-time first and then ramp up that way. So that juggling will need to advance as you wind down from a full-time job kind of situation for yourself. I think there's also, I think you made a really good point there about, health. I think being really important, because yes, you're, as a creator, you're entertaining and you need to be what I like to call switched on. But obviously the like burnout is really real. And I think without actually calling it that, I think that's something you've touched on as something important that people need to realize, that needs to be managed. Like, you need to be proactive about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like, even though especially for people starting really early, like I think there's a lot of these realities that are good to get across early. Like, the earlier the better, I think, which is really fantastic.
And I think something that I've seen, and when I started streaming, so I started streaming, and to be honest, I hadn't really watched many streams. For me, it was very much, I had this amazing community on Instagram, and instead of just responding to them on comments and it being that personal but also a bit impersonal, I thought it'd be awesome to be able to share my love of gaming further and stream and have build this little community online, which is kind of what we've done. I can see like Harris in chat. Love you, Harris. Harris is a mod on my channel. You're the best. And I think just going to streaming and like not really understanding what it was about too much, it gave me a bit of a fresh perspective. So yeah, now I really do, you know, I take time, I look at other people's channels and I've seen what they're doing. But I watch a lot of videos on YouTube as well, and there were a lot of people saying, small streamers saying, you just need to stream, you know, 5 times a week, go for it. And as someone who works full time in a corporate job, that's just not something that I can do, unfortunately. Like I would love to personally, but it's just not something I can do while also maintaining my job. And of course, my job is important. That's my livelihood. Like that's where I get my salary from. And if it's balancing kind of streaming to the point where you can continue to grow your channel, but also to the point where it's not negatively impacting your health as well, because, you know, sitting down 8 hours a day, get home from work, I'll be sitting down for the next, you know, 5 hours as well. I need to make sure I balance that, and just make sure, yeah, it goes back to, I guess, prioritizing your life, but also being conscious of when you are burning out and stepping back when you need to. And I think if you have a really good community, like, you know, I can see like Harris and Blitz in chat, hey guys, that when you need to step back, they understand it, you know, and they're there because of like, obviously every channel's got different reasons why people watch it, but with the type of community that I've got, which is the base of my channel, it's the community aspect of it. Like we know we're all there, and if you know, someone's having a bad day and you can't stream, everyone's super supportive. And knowing that I have that, it makes me feel like I can take that time to look after myself if I need to, and I can come back and, you know, the squad's all there and we're ready to jump in and have a good time again.
Hashtag squad goals, but like
Squad.
community squad goals.
Oh yeah.
I saw a note there about me being super quiet. I have turned myself up a bit. Let me know if it's good or better. I know some people said it was okay. I will move my face closer, even closer to this. Speaking of kind of challenges and, you know, the things that you need to manage, especially when you're starting out or even as you're trying to juggle different things. I know you've touched on a few of the challenges already, but in terms of what you think the hardest thing you've had to overcome as a challenge, maybe early stage as well, what would you say that would be, like the hardest challenge right at the start when you first started?
For me, it was definitely knowing what needed to be done. As I mentioned, I hadn't really watched many streams. I kind of watched a couple of YouTube videos for OBS Streamlabs, and it was more learning through the guys who were watching and saying, hey, Sammy, your audio is completely scuffed, which it, you know, still seems to be a lot, even though I don't change any of the settings. Knowing, you know, what equipment was correct, knowing what settings to use. And I think still it's a continuous, you know, battle. I had a stream the other week, and obviously I've been doing it for a couple months now, but my computer kept crashing, and it's okay, why is it crashing? And I stream off a laptop. Everything I do is off a laptop. So where to find resources for streams, like where to find alerts, sound alerts, how to update your new subscription goal, get new widgets in. And I think it's a continuous process because, you know, you build your stream, you think this looks awesome, and then a couple of weeks later you think, no, I don't really like it, I want to change it. And I think just knowing where to go to find those resources was really difficult. But then also another key thing was just, yeah, kind of that consistency and learning how everything fits together, because it's a very different platform from things like Instagram, which is kind of my bread and butter and where I have, you know, personal and professional experience, and also learning to grow on Twitch and what people actually want to watch. Because, you know, obviously if someone raids you, you think this is really exciting, but how do you actually retain those viewers? And are they the viewers that, you know, are right for your channel? You might see everyone leave straight away and think, oh my gosh, am I a bad streamer? And people aren't enjoying that. But I think it's something that, you know, you need to sometimes not take to heart so much, and understand that my favorite analogy is you can be the ripest peach in the world, but not everyone likes peaches, right? Like you might want to watch a channel for some amazing gameplay and some insane headshots, and I'm sorry, I might only be able to give you that once every half an hour or so if I'm playing a game.
That's like amazing. At least in my opinion. I'm terrible. Guys, I'm just going to let you know now, in case I somehow stream FPS sometime, I'm terrible at FPS. I don't get headshots. I'm more friendly fire. Continue, please.
Yeah, I when I played Warzone the other day, I think the only kills I got were in that warm-up screen where the map's loading and everyone's just kind of a free-for-all. Yeah. And I think I got 5 kills, and then everyone's like, Sammy, this isn't actually the match, but we don't need to talk about that. I clipped it, and that's, you know, immortalized for me, and I'm happy with my performance there.
Yeah, I feel like It's a separate question, and I don't think we have time to get into it. But I feel like there is pressure to kind of perform in terms of how you do the gameplay. I know we tweeted about this before. I know I don't know if we tweeted about it yet, but like I know like there are people who like, oh, don't play it on easy, don't be lame and play it on easy, or be better at the game. But I think the reality again, it's not like everyone is at an expert or high level gaming level, and like you mentioned before, for you it seems to be like it's more about the community and more about the vibe, and
Yeah.
that's what you want to bring to your community and your audience, as opposed to like you're the number one reigning champion at this game.
Yeah, which I think it was funny. I'm definitely not going to be number one at any game, but Blitz, who's in Full Metal Blitz, is in chat. I was playing Monster Hunter World the other week, and he's like, Sammy, I don't think I've ever seen you so excited to play a game before. And I said, yeah, because I can play this game relatively well. Like, I'm not shooting left, right, and center. Like, I was like, guys, get ready for this. Like, I've actually got a little bit of skill in this, so just don't get used to it. But this is the one game that I actually can play well.
It's a very real thing, but I think if you don't try not to fall for that pressure, but
Yeah, definitely.
be confident in your branding, your community, your vibe, and I feel like that's the way to go for a lot of people who aren't trying to go for that competitive niche.
Yeah, and I think like I've seen a lot of people, not so much from the people that I know, but people play Minecraft because people have blown up from it. But at the end of the day, for me personally, like I use gaming as a way to escape and spend time with all these amazing friends that I've made. Do I really want to be spending the 2 free nights I have a week when I can actually stream playing a game I don't enjoy? For me, that's not really something that I want to do. So it's really important for me to actually play games that I enjoy, and I think that comes across as well with how you are on stream, and people can tell whether you're having fun or not. And I actually was watching a stream yesterday, and there were all these comments saying, you look really unhappy. What's wrong? What's wrong? And you could see the streamer didn't look happy. And yeah, as I mentioned before, as a viewer, it's kind of I want to see people doing things they enjoy, like what they're passionate about. That's what really fires me up. So I hope that people feel the same way when they watch my stream.
That's awesome. You mentioned before, in terms of early challenges to overcome, things like you mentioned getting raids and how to make the most of that, how to take advantage of when things like that do happen. It'd be really interesting to know, especially early on, what kind of growth strategies did you make use of? Maybe one of them could be things like raids, but what would you kind of recommend that you've seen as like a really successful strategy for people to use if they are just starting out for growth?
Yeah, I think the key thing is, and look, you can find this information. I know a lot of people say it, but don't rely on Twitch itself for the growth, because there's so many people and it's really hard to be discovered on Twitch. So the key thing for me was really leveraging my the Instagram platform and that audience there. So the guys who follow me on Instagram know that I am extremely active with, like, I'll respond to every comment. As I mentioned, my channel's all about community and engagement. So I make a conscious effort. I try and respond to all messages, respond to all comments. So I actually have built some really good friendships and relationships with some of the people that I've spoken to. So when I did start streaming, it was almost like this natural progression of, oh, I'm friends with Sammy. I chat to her on Instagram. Like, she always responds. She's really active in the community, and then they followed me to Twitch, which is nice to kind of have that audience who was there, and a support group already. In a way, it was more of I'm starting to stream, I don't know what I'm doing, but thank you for just being here to support me. And now it's kind of grown into a little community. And I think my favorite thing about it has been that there's been a couple of people who've met, I guess, through the Instagram and Twitch communities that I've got and I'm a part of. And now they're actually friends, and they message outside of my streams and outside of like my Instagram posts, and they're actually friends. And I think for me that's the most exciting thing, because I never had friends who played video games when I was younger, and I've only been kind of active on social media for, it's been 2 years now since I started my Instagram. So to make friends who have similar interests, but then also help other people make friends with similar interests, I just think that's so awesome. And I'm really happy that I can be just like a part of that journey and like help people connect in that way.
That's like the definition of community. Just everyone who wants to clip that, just title it definition of community.
Yeah,
there you go.
See Harris. Yeah, I can see Harris in chat saying bringing people together. This is what Sammyfosgaming community. Yeah, we call ourselves like the squad because we're all like actually really tight knit and we check in on each other, which is really cute.
They're also in chat. Hi chat. We see you there. We're actually looking. We can't answer all your questions if you have any, but lovely to have you guys here.
Yes, I'm looking.
Yeah. And to wrap up with one final question, and this might be a bit tricky, but I'll give you some time to think about it. So if you had to give one piece of advice for anybody who wants to start or anybody who's even thinking of going full-time creation, because they're kind of similar transition periods, what would be the most important thing you think people should know?
I would say most important things. One that I probably do, and the other one that I know the guys will have a laugh because I need to do more of, and I know it's something that would help me massively with my growth and being able to move to that full-time status. Firstly is I'd say be genuine, as Harris mentioned in chat. People can tell if you're not genuine, and I think, as we've discussed, there is a pressure to play certain games and for some people, like put on a persona. And I think it's really easy to fall into that because that's what, maybe big streamers do. But at the end of the day, is it something that you can sustain? Is it something that your audience, will recognize is fake? Is that going to potentially cost you growth in the long run? And is it something that's going to make you happy or unhappy? Because at the end of the day, if you're doing this and you're in it for the long run, I think you need it to be something that you actually do enjoy. I don't know about, I know some people can deal with doing things they don't enjoy, but for me personally, I don't like living my life doing things that I don't enjoy. So
it'd be very weird if there was someone who was like, there's just one person out there who's.
It makes me sad thinking that, but it's people stay in jobs they don't enjoy and that whole thing. But the second thing would be, and this is everyone will have a good laugh about this, is the consistency. And it's true, if you want growth on any platform, you have to be consistent. I hustled super hard during COVID last year on my Instagram and starting my Twitch, and I saw some massive developments and massive progress, and it's opened up some amazing opportunities for me. And I've built this amazing community, and I know to kind of improve and build on what I've created, I need to be more consistent. So Harris and Blitz, have a good chuckle right here, ha ha ha. But I think that's key, and not to slog it out and do 5 streams a week. I think a good opportunity is to, maybe look at doing 2 or 3 streams a week, which is probably what I look at doing. But also looking at how you can leverage other platforms that have higher reach and more discoverability. So Instagram's what I've used, but Instagram, the algorithm has been butchered, for want of a better word, lately. They've changed it massively to focus more around paid content, so boosting posts and people doing paid more so than organic reach to try and get people to spend more money on the platform. I work in digital marketing, so I can talk about this forever. So I won't bore you guys with
That's a whole other conversation we could both probably spend an hour talking about.
An hour at least. But other things such as, I know a lot of people use YouTube to help drive traffic to their Twitch and just get discoverability through that platform. TikTok's, obviously really blowing up at the moment. So this is also something that I need to do more of. But it's just that balance of content creation and full-time work to help get people to discover your platform and find your content and find it cross platforms. Don't just be present on one platform. It's best to be present on multiple. And yes, it is more work, but in the long run, it will help you grow a lot more than if you just stick to, just focusing on Twitch.
And to sum that up, for those who are interested, sustainability, I love these keywords, consistency, and online presence. It's amazing. Just in case anybody wanted to also clip that or write that down, this is like the Spark Notes version of that answer, but all like excellent points. And I think I know the question was made for people who are starting out, but I think that still applies really well at any point, especially the sustainability point, because if people are looking to go full time and they want to make this career in and of itself, it's going to be difficult to do it in the long term without the sustainability that you mentioned and all your other points that feed into that kind of long-term view of doing this as a career. So thank you for your excellent insights on that.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. And with that, again, this is Sammy. For anybody who wants to check out Sammy's content, they can find you.
They can find me Sammyfosgaming on Twitch, Instagram, and Facebook. Mainly Twitch and Instagram. And yeah, I'll be streaming later on tonight. So if you guys are sticking around in a bit, we'll be doing some The Last of Us Part 2, and I really hope to see you guys there.
Alrighty. Thanks everybody for joining us in chat. Love you, see you
Thanks so much,
guys.
guys.
Thank you for being on. Bye, Sammy.
Bye, guys.